Fellas, let me ask you something. Has she suddenly gone quiet, pulled away, and left you wondering, what the hell just happened? I know that panic is real. You're checking your phone every 5 minutes, thinking maybe, hey, you messed up big time. I've got good news for you. She might actually come back. And I'll tell you why. Women pulling away is confusing, frustrating, and honestly, it can make you feel like you're losing your mind. But here's the twist, it's not always the end. In fact, in some cases, it's just a test, a way for her to see if you're the real deal or just another guy who crumbles under pressure. Trust me, if you know these signs, you realize she's not done with you yet. So let's get into it, shall we? Jessica OS here, welcome to the channel. Number 1, if she's watching your social media, she may come back. So I mean, look, if she's pulled away but hasn't unfollowed you or blocked you, trust me, she's still watching. And when I say watching, I mean she's checking up on your every move. Why? Because she wants to see how you react in her absence. Are you falling apart? Are you obsessing over why she pulled away? Or are you keeping it together, moving on with your life and showing her that you don't need her validation to feel good about yourself? Women are highly observant when it comes to a man's behavior after they pull back. The more unbothered you seem, the more curious she'll get. She's expecting you to crumble, to start posting sad songs or those lonely guy memes. But if instead you're posting pictures of you having a good time, hanging out with friends, hitting the gym, or even just enjoying life without her, that's going to mess with her head. It'll make her second guess whether she really wants to lose you in the first place. Now, here's where a lot of guys get it wrong, methinks. They either post nothing at all, basically going into hiding, or they go overboard, posting every little thing, trying to prove that they're fine. I don't think you should do either of those. In actual fact, you need to strike a balance. Keep your profile active, but don't overdo it. Post things that show you're enjoying life, not desperate for attention. Think subtle confidence, not screaming validation. And a pro tip, this is also the perfect time to subtly, level up. Maybe you've been thinking about getting in shape, working on a new skill, or improving yourself. Use this moment to focus on you, because women are drawn to growth, especially when they think they might be losing access to the new and improved version of yourself. She'll be checking your stories, trust me. So if she sees you leveling up and doing new things and thriving, that FOMO, fear of missing out, will kick in hard. The bottom line is, if she's still following you and watching your stories, it means she's not over you yet. She's waiting to see how you handle yourself. So make sure what she sees is a man who's got his act together. No begging, no chasing, just cool, calm, collected confidence. This keeps you in her mind without having to say a word. Number 2 is the breadcrumb effect. One of the sneakiest moves women pull when they're not quite ready to let go. When she starts liking old photos or posts, she's doing more than just scrolling through your timeline for nostalgia. This is her way of dipping her toes back in the water without fully diving in. It's like sending a smoke signal. Hey, I'm still thinking about you, but I'm not ready to talk yet. And trust me, that little like on the photo from months ago, it's not an accident. Here's the psychology behind it. When a woman likes those old posts, she's not just being nosy, she's deliberately choosing a moment in time where things were probably good between you two. And by acknowledging it, she's testing the waters. She wants to see if you'll take the bait and reach out. It's almost like a game of chess. She's making a subtle move and waiting for you to counter. But here's where you need to be smart. Most guys see that like and think that, oh, she wants me back, time to message her. Nope. That's exactly what she expects. And if you jump into her DMs too soon, you're giving away your power. What you want to do is to play it cool. Don't chase her. Instead, you need to let her wonder why you didn't react immediately. It'll make her question if she still has a hold over you, and that doubt is powerful. Remember, women are drawn to mystery and the thrill of the chase. So what do you do when she's liking your old photos? First off, keep doing your thing. Stay on your path. Post new content that shows that you're happy and moving forward. But also, you want to acknowledge her in a subtle way and do it sparingly. You want to give her just enough attention to keep her intrigued, but not so much that she feels like she's in control of the situation. The back and forth is a psychological dance, and if you play it right, she'll be thinking about you more than ever. Now let's be clear. Women aren't always going to flat out admit that they're trying to get your attention, but hey, actions speak louder than words. If she's going through your feed and dropping likes on random old posts, that's her way of staying on your radar. It's a mix of curiosity and testing the waters without being too vulnerable. She wants to see if you're still available, still interested. But here's where you need to keep your cool and not give too much away. The next time you see that old notification pop up, remember she's watching. But instead of rushing to message her, let her feel your absence a little bit more. And if she's still breadcrumbing you with those likes, it's a sign she's not over you yet. So stay confident, stay in control, and let her come to you when she's ready. Number 3, she starts talking about the good old days. So pay attention to this. If she starts reminiscing about the amazing times that you had, this is not just a walk down memory lane. This is her way of reopening the door, testing to see if there's still a spark, if you remember the good times the way that she does. What you need to do is to keep the nostalgia light and positive. Don't get too emotional or talk about how much you miss her too. I mean, just let her be the one to escalate things. Let me tell you something. When a woman starts bringing up the good old days, it's never just a casual conversation. It's a major sign she's thinking about coming back. If she's texting you or subtly dropping memories into a conversation like, hey, remember the time where we went to that amazing restaurant? Or I miss those times we stayed up talking for hours. She's trying to do more than just reminisce. She's reminding you of the bond you shared, and she's gauging whether you feel the same way. The move is all about nostalgia, getting you to think about the best parts of your time together. She wants to stir up those feelings and remind you of the connection, the fun, and the intimacy. And guess what? It's working both ways, because when she brings up those moments, she's not just testing you. She's also trying to convince herself that maybe there's still something worth holding on to. And here's where you've got to be smart, because a lot of guys hear this and immediately dive headfirst into the emotional pool. They think, oh, she misses me, time to open up and tell her how much I miss her too. Wrong move. If she's bringing up old memories, it's not the time to get overly emotional or desperate. What you need to do is acknowledge the good times and keep it light. You don't want to come off as someone who's been sitting around just waiting for her to make a comeback. Instead, let her feel like she's the one missing out while you're cool, calm, and collected. So how do you respond? First, match her tone. If she's being casual, you stay casual too. Something like, yeah, it was a great night. Or good times. Short, simple, positive. You want her to feel like you enjoyed those moments too, but you're not dwelling on them. The key here is to not give away too much emotionally. She wants to know if you still have feelings for her, but by staying cool, you make her work harder to figure it out. Let her do the chasing. If you stay slightly out of reach, she's going to wonder why you're not jumping at the chance to rekindle things. And that's exactly where you want to be, in control. Another important point, when she brings up these moments, don't turn it into a deep conversation about the relationship. Keep the vibe light, keep it positive. If she starts asking things like, oh, do you remember how we used to talk every night? Don't dive into that serious discussion about where things went wrong. Keep it simple, like, yeah, it was fun. Why? Because if you get too emotional or serious, you're giving her the upper hand. The goal here is to keep her wondering, not to give her all the answers. Don't let her know that the spark is still burning too brightly. Keep it controlled, keep it cool, and let her do the work to figure out where things stand. This will put you in the driver's seat, and if she really wants you back, she'll make that next move. Number 4, she shows up wherever you are. When she pulls away and starts missing you, but she doesn't want to come right out and admit it, she'll find a way to cross paths with you. It's subtle, but it's strategic. Why? Because she wants to see how you react. Are you going to rush over to her and ask her why she's been distant? Are you going to look awkward or overly excited to see her? Or are you going to stay cool? Acknowledge her casually and act like nothing is out of the ordinary. Look, women are very aware of their presence and the effect that they have on the men they date. If she's showing up where you are, it's because she wants you to see her, but she doesn't want to be the one to make the first move. It's a way of putting herself in your line of sight, hoping that you take notice. So how do you handle this? First off, when you see her accidentally showing up at your spot, just stay calm. Give her a casual smile, maybe a simple hey, and then go about your business. Don't make a big deal out of it. This shows that you're not fazed, but you're also not ignoring her. The key is balance. You want her to see that you've noticed her, but you're not overly affected by her presence. Now, here's the power move. After you acknowledge her, keep doing your thing. Don't hover around her or make it seem like your plans suddenly changed because she arrived. Women love confidence, and nothing says confidence like a guy who's unfazed by her sudden appearance. If you can hold your ground and stay cool, she's going to start questioning herself. Yep. Why isn't he more excited to see me? Is he over me? Is he dating someone else? What's going on? And that's exactly what you want, to keep her guessing. There's another layer to this too. When she shows up in your space, she's also testing the waters to see how you're doing without her. I mean, are you still thinking about her? Are you thriving without her around? If you look confident, relaxed, and like you're enjoying life, she's going to start second guessing her decision to pull away. She'll wonder if she made a mistake, and that curiosity will drive her crazy. The psychology behind this move is this. By showing up where you are, she's trying to gauge your reaction. If you get overly excited or flustered, she'll show she still has control over you. But if you stay composed, she'll start questioning whether she still has that same pull. That doubt, that's your leverage. The more she wonders why you're not reacting the way she expects, the more curious she gets. And that curiosity, it's what draws her back in. Number 5, she's asking about you through friends. Okay, so if her friends are suddenly asking about you, don't ignore this one. This is a classic move when she's too proud or too uncertain to reach out herself. If her friends are suddenly checking in, dropping little hints, or casually asking, hey, how you doing? What have you been up to lately? It's not just because they're curious, it's because she's curious. She's sending out her scouts, and believe me, this is no accident. Women don't ask their friends to check up on an ex or a guy they pulled away from unless they still care. Think about it. If she's moved on, you're not even a topic of conversation anymore, right? But if she's asking her friends for updates, it means she's thinking about you. Maybe she's too scared to text you directly, or maybe she's afraid of looking desperate. So instead of taking that risk, she sends her friends to gather the intel. And here's the key. What you do with this information will determine whether she comes back or not. So here's a great way to handle it. If one of her friends asks how you're doing, respond with something like, hey, I've been doing great actually, just keeping busy, focusing on myself right now. That shows them, and by extension her, that you're thriving and you're not sitting around waiting for her to come back. It sends a powerful message. You're good with or without her. And that's going to make her think twice about pulling away. When a woman sends her friends to check on you, it's because she's feeling uncertain. I mean, maybe she's wondering if you've moved on, or maybe she's testing the waters to see if you're still available. It's her way of staying in your orbit without being vulnerable. She's trying to get a sense of whether you've already replaced her or if she still has a shot. And here's where you need to stay one step ahead. When her friends are inquiring about you, you've got to remember that everything you say will get back to her. So keep it positive, keep it confident, and don't overplay your hand. If you start gushing about how much you miss her or how lost you feel without her, you're giving her the power. The more confident and unbothered you appear, the more it will make her question her decision to pull away. And if you handle it right, her friends are going to go and report back to her that you're thriving, and that's exactly what you want. Make her realize that you're not sitting around waiting for her to come back. And that sense of loss is going to drive her crazy. Try it out and let me know. Thanks for watching. I'll definitely be seeing you in the next video. Leave a blue heart if you watched until this moment.